and gentlemen, we are in the first week of the spring season, and already in 2018, I've done a complete 360 on 2 series already. That was Hakata Tonkotsu Ramens and now Darling in the Frankxx. Because when Darling first came out, I'm not going to sit here and say I didn't like it. I still enjoyed it. I was up in arms about everybody, about like the fan service and everything we were getting with the robots. But it was one of those series where I was like, you know what, I'm just going to take my time and watch it. You know, it comes out on Saturday. I'll get around to it Monday or Tuesday or whatever. That is no longer the case, because the last 3 episodes of this series, maybe even the last 4, has been outstanding. Outstanding. Bigger words than outstanding. This has been phenomenal. I absolutely love this series, and it has turned around my perspective of the series overall, where I'm ready to give it a pretty high billing, because episode 13, I said last week that this was my favorite episode. I'm going to say that again this week, because this week's episode was even better. This was the episode that I was waiting for. This is the episode that we were all waiting for. It was time for us to finally get some hard answers, and we finally got it in this episode. And not only did this episode tug at my heartstrings and gave me the feels, it was just outstanding in every sense of the word. And Darling in the Frankxx has now etched his way into one of my favorites in this early part of the year, and I'm excited for every episode every week now. The second half has been giving me everything I want from this series. The drama, the action, the scenes, the feels. And we got the feels in tenfold this week in episode 13, as we finally got to the heart of the beast, of the monster of 02. And it's caused me to completely change how I feel about 02 as well. I'm going to admit it again. I love 02. There it is. There, I said it. Because after this episode, if she isn't your best girl, you gotta at least have her second, because what she's gone through and finally getting the origin of everything that went on between her and Hiro. This was a big moment. This was probably the most important episode in the series that we waited so long to see, as we found out why she called herself a monster. And it was a reverse Beauty and the Beast factor, because, you know, you have Hiro, who is like the Belle in this type of story. And you have 02, who's the monster, as they go on this journey together to learn about each other. And everything just makes so much sense now. And the way everything is broken down, it was just very well done. And, you know, one thing that we can't avoid is that I know a lot of people are predicting, and, you know, they were kind of glossed over, that we were going to go with the humans are scum and, you know, the adults are the main villains type of thing. And honestly, the way that they have this story built, you can't get around that. But these fucking adults are scumbags. They are absolute scumbags, and the worst deserves to happen to them after what they did to 02. I mean, oh man, I mean, if they wanted me to hate these adults, then congratulations, they've actually done that. And I know they're going to try to come back and try to say, you know, the humans have their reasons, but what they're doing right now is inexcusable. But there's bigger things in play here. The chance meeting of 02 and Hiro was actually, you can still say it was by chance, but there was a lot more to it than what we've seen, as these two have been a part of each other's lives for a very long time. They actually have met before at a very young age, and I love the symbolism that they're using in this series, because you have to take a look at 2 sides of the spectrum. You have Hiro, who was locked up in the garden, and he's always longed to go outside. He's always had questions about what's out there in the world. And now you have 02, who was an experiment, who's brought up on, she's tortured, she's mangled, she's experimented on, she's clinging on to hope that she can find her prince, as she cherished this book called The Beast and the Prince. And this just solidifies and explains why she wants to be human. And I just love her so much now, after seeing what she went through, just to see that she was just so battered and abused, and these fucking humans, these scumbag humans, are experimenting on her. They're torturing her. That's what she's doing, and that's why she hates going for the testing, because what they do to her, just to see how she's holding up as they're trying to make the perfect specimen. It just disgusted me, the way they are treating this precious little girl. And even like with, you know, the kids in, you know, the garden, when they get to a certain age, they're being sent off to be these parasites, and, you know, they're getting injections to increase their aptitude, just like we saw with I forgot the kid's name, but just so caught up in my feelings right now. But you know, what is his name? Is it Mishima or whatever it is? You know who I'm talking about. The one that wanted to pilot with Hiro. You know, it was fear that he wouldn't come back after what he was doing. And these scumbag humans, it kind of reminded me of Dead Man Wonderland and what they were doing in that with Shiro, or what they were doing with 02, how she can regenerate, so they're just testing to see how well that works. And they just want to keep her locked up in his room and torture her, barely feed her, and do what they want. Fuck these humans. Fuck that candy that they give out. Fuck their secrets. And Hiro, after what we got from him in this episode, it explains so much about why his character's in the state that he's in, and why you should feel a little bit more sorry for him than you did before, because he was already pegged to be a pilot or a parasite with very high potential. That's why he's like so high in numbers, because the bigger your number is, or the earlier your number is, the more potential you have. So him being 16 versus like a 300, that means he had a lot of potential, but the kids actually looked up to him. And it's not like we haven't seen this before, but we got it a little bit more fleshed out, that he was the one that was giving the kids the names, the ones that was saying, you know what, we should not just be these numbers, we should be individuals. He's the one asking the hard questions. He's the one asking the humans, why isn't people coming back? What's outside? What is this you're doing? Who is that girl? He's asking the hard questions, and these piece of scumbag humans are just ignoring them because they just want to build these weapons to go out and fight these Klaxosaurs because they can't do it themselves. And I don't even think that when we finally do get that reason, it's going to be enough to make me smooth over what these humans are doing. And I want to say something right now. Darling in the Frankxx is better than Evangelion. There it is. I'll say it. Now, I know we still got a lot of episodes to go, and I know you guys are saying, Scott, you're crazy, and I will clear this up. I respect Neon Genesis Evangelion for what it's done and for how it deconstructed the mecha genre. But Darling in the Frankxx is doing what that series was trying to do, and I feel is doing it a lot better. And maybe because Evangelion happened, that Darling in the Frankxx is making me feel this way, and I'm not a big fan of Evangelion anyway, besides having respect for it. So it's easy for me to say, but I will go out on a limb and say that Darling in the Frankxx is better than Evangelion. I will say it. And if I'm wrong, I would admit I'm wrong. Like, if this turns to complete shit before this is over, then so be it. But for right now, I gotta give it the crown of being better than Ava. So we'll just have to see where it turns out. But just the emotional impact, and, you know, that aspect of humans just making these kids do things that they don't want to do, putting the future on these kids' back. Darling in the Frankxx is just doing an overall better job with that. But this episode finally brought everything together, the memories, the past, everything, as Hiro wanted to know what was going on. He's seen this girl with horns. He's seen her just getting tortured and, you know, experimented on, just in a bad mood. And he actually took the move to try to break her out. They ran away together, and in this time where he was just taking care of her, wrapping up her feet because she was cold, you know, making sure that she's fed, teaching her how to talk, reading the story of the Beast and Press to her that she cherished so much, was just absolutely beautiful. And it brings everything into context as far as how 02 feels about wanting to be human. She wants to be human because she recognizes that she's this beast, and that a beast and a human can't be together. So maybe, just maybe, if she can become human, she can finally be with her darling, which we've seen that she called Hiro way back when they were kids. It was just fantastic. And just the scene of him taking care of her when they were trying to escape, it was just lovely. And it brings everything into context. Even what she was saying when she was trying to be human so she could be with her first darling. Of course, we found out that was Hiro. That was just absolutely wonderful. And we're getting all of the answers that we need in this series, because 02 had a wound on her leg, and that's when Hiro knows that she bled blue. And animals lick wounds to heal each other, and he learned that from reading the books. And when he started licking her wounds, he ingested the blood that she has in her, which is more likely why he's so compatible with her, because the two have shared, well, not shared blood before, but he's had the blood of Zero Two within him for so long that it makes sense now in a sci-fi sense that this is why he's so compatible with her. Nobody else has been able to. And you would think after all these fucking experiments that these humans are doing, they wouldn't have thought of just giving her blood to someone. Or maybe they did. Maybe it's just another puzzle that we need to unlock on why Hero is so compatible. But off the bat, we can see that him sharing the blood, well, not sharing the blood, him ingesting her blood is probably what made them compatible. You know, the promise that one day they're going to get married. I mean, this episode, even though it was a little cheesy, they were ironically under a mistletoe. I can't say it was perfect, but it was still damn nice. And it all came to an end because, you know, these humans finally got to them, and either they wiped their memories or it's because it was just a traumatic decision that the two decided to just to forget it in their lives because it's been so long. It's probably been about 10 years since they saw each other, but we even flash forward to the future and Hero remembers everything. Hero remembers, you know, when Ichigo was like, get away from Zero Two, she's trying to consume you. He didn't flinch. He didn't move because it all came back to him and he was like, you are her. You're that girl I saw in the forest. You're the girl with the book. And that look that Zero Two gave him at the end, because it seems like she recognizes it too. 10 out of 10 episode, and now everything is out of the bag. The only thing we got to uncover now is why these humans are such scumbags and why they need these kids to take down these Klaxosaurs, and why can't they be adults? But until then, we're just going to have to wait till next week. So guys, I absolutely love this episode. Best episode of the season. And at the rate that they're going, every episode is just going to keep topping the other one. So I know I probably fangasmed a lot in this episode, but it was worth it. It was that good. And if you are still not watching Darling in the Frankxx, don't make the mistake I did with Hakata Tonkotsu Ramens and drop it and then have to catch up. Get back on. Get on now, because I feel like it's only going to get better. Trigger, A1 coming together, knocking it out the park. And I'll say it once again, this could potentially end up being better than Evangelion. So, guys, let me know what you thought of this episode and some of your theories and all that good stuff in the comments below. If you liked the video, go ahead and drop a like. If you want to hear more, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, as well as please hit that bell so you can be notified. Join the notification squad and know whenever I drop a video, so the YouTube system won't screw you and you won't know when I have anything out there. I'll catch up with you guys later. And as I always say, you guys be anywhere on YouTube right now, but you chose to listen to me. I really appreciate that, so thanks for stopping by. It's going to be so hard with everything going on in the spring to try to work this series in, but it's so good that I have to try. So I'll catch up with you guys later. On that note, it's your boy Scott signing out. See you soon.